Dear students, good morning to all. What we're going to see today is the development testing in software engineering. Okay, all the first four units. First, we start with the SDLC life cycle. Second unit, requirement analysis. The third unit with the models, and fourth unit with the testing and software developments. Okay. Now, in the testing and software developments, okay, what we're going to say in the sense development testing, TDT, test-driven testing. After that, user testing. These are the topics that we are going to discuss in the software testings. Okay. What is meant by first we start with the development testing in software engineering. Okay, what is meant by development testing in software engineering in the sense? Okay, it's a consistent of testing process that has been applied throughout the end of the software development lifecycle. Okay, everyone know that the software development lifecycle is of with the 5 phases, starting with the requirement analysis, designing, coding, testing, and debugging. Okay, in all the 5 phases, the development testing has to be done because to check whether the our project is meeting the requirements of the customers or stakeholders, which has been already given and it has been shared with the customers. Okay, the development testing is to aim to establish a framework to verify whether the requirements of a given project are met in accordance. Okay, to verify whether the requirements that we have already seen, requirements in the sense the requirements which has been shared by the stakeholders or customers, okay, of a given project are met in accordance. Next, this testing is done only once as compared to other testing, which can be performed many times, okay, which is the first so one-time performance test, okay, which can be performed many times. This is the one-time designing test, which can be performed many times. Okay, this is the difference. Okay, it is not a each and every time we are designing the test. It is a first phase itself. We are designing this test to perform the requirement analysis. Okay, to meet the deadline date, development is testing is performed during the development phase. Okay, in each time it will be going with the deadline dates, whether it is whether a project is meeting the requirements very perfectly. Okay, it's given by the customers. Okay, what is meant by development? So what's the need for performing development testing? Okay, and what we are performing in the development testing. Okay, when you are writing a new code or building a new software project, okay, the reason for going for development test is if we are performing a new project. That means if you are assigning a new project or if we are going for a coding process of a new project, we are going to perform a development testing. The test is low. Okay, when we're going for a development testing, the cost of testing is low. The client should perform the development testing so that the client doesn't have to that means the client only will be performing the development testing so that client doesn't have to face the debugging and another testing cost. Okay, if you're done with the testing development testing, there is no need for the client to check for the debugging or another testing process which is cost. Okay, the development testing requires some metrics. What are the metrics that is required for doing a development testing? Okay, first one, static coding analysis. Static coding analysis is a technique of debugging by analyzing the source code before running the program. Okay, when you have to analyze the code before running the program, okay, then only whether it has been satisfying that the certain code rules, okay, or the multiple set of code rules. Okay, when we are designing a project, okay, when we are coding a project or the project is said to be in the development phase, okay, we have to check whether the coding has done for the project is under the certain criteria. Okay, that means it has to be satisfied certain rules and regulations. This concept uses this is the first point. Second point is data flow analysis. Okay, the flow of program at different level. The flow of program in the sense that project consists of different coding in the different module with the different phases. Okay, when your data is flowing from the one module to the another module, okay, or at the different difficulty levels, how it is flowing is said to be one of the most biggest problem. Next on metrics analysis. Metric analysis in the sense how to analyze the metrics of the software. Okay, climatic complexity, consistency, counting line of code. Okay, one of the main analysis is the LOC. That means there should be a minimum number of lines and function points. Okay, what are the functions that we have included in our project? Next, code review. The source code is inspected and it is checked for any flaws in it. It can be used to find and remove flaws in the code, such as memory leakage and overflow. In code review, in the sense, it is used to find any flaws, okay, like memory leakage. That means if that is we have assigned more number of array values, okay, and if we have assigned stagger overflow, or if we are using the concept of linked list, okay, if we are using the concept of stack and queue, that means then we have to check for a buffer overflow. Okay, The reason for the memory leak and buffer flow incidents, it will take a lot of time for executing the program. The benefit of going for development testing in the sense early bug detection. Okay, you can verify the errors in the early of the development phase itself, saving on cost. Okay, this is the project which has been done on the client side. Okay, to save the cost for spending more amount of testing later part of the software development. Okay, improve the code quality as we have discussed. There is a lot of metrics that we are following here in development testing to check the quality of the code. So definitely the quality of code will be improved. Increase the output. So that means the people who's using will have a lot of options. Next, easy maintenance. One is a very easy maintenance because this testing process has been done throughout from the starting phase to the ending phase of the software development. Tools required for development testing. Okay, Selenium testing with HPA unified function testing, WATR, and Catalan. Okay, Selenium is one of the important testing that we use for development testing. Okay. Next, what we are going to see in the sense test-driven development. Okay, it's a method of coding. Okay, which first write the test. Okay, here whenever you are performing the test-driven development, first we have to design the test plan. Okay, that means first we have to define the test case. Okay, the test case should compromise everything. What are the requirements that has been given by the customers? Okay, and thus the requirements has to be has to be fetched in the test case, so that when we are testing our project, all the requirements what we have done in the project, that means what are the requirements that has been given by the customer in the project has been satisfied at the time of development on it. Okay, this is the only reason. Okay, this is the one of the best way of developing a project. First we have to write the test case, okay, with the requirement analysis. After that, we have to develop a code and we have to match the code with the test cases. If it is passed, it will be moved to the next phase. Okay. If it is failed, again, it has to come to the refactor phase. Refactor phase in the sense you have to correct the things that has been missing, okay, while comparing with the requirement phase. This is the only reason we are going for the test-driven development. Okay. This is the example of working principle. Sorry, this is the diagram for working principle of the test-driven development. Okay. Red is said to be the error coding. Green is said to be the fast coding. The refactor in the sense that will be changing the coding from the red to green. Advantages of using TDD. It is a unit test provide consistent feedback. Here we can get a consistent feedback. Okay. What is the wrong in the program? In which functions we are not performing very well, that can easily be identified in TDD. Quality of a design increases with further helps in proper maintenance. Okay. Quality of the design will get increased because each and every time it is tested. Okay. Test-driven development acts as safety net against the bugs. Okay, it is used for the safety nets. Ensure that your application that definitely it will check whether it is meets the requirements. Okay, that's a short development life cycle. Okay, TDD is a short development life cycle. There is no need to for a high-end development. Dear students, what we have seen is today TDD and development testing. Rest of the thing we see it in the next.